welcome back to another 3D Hangouts episode 190, Infinity Slime.
That's right, this week we're going to be taking a look at 3D printing coin cell holders for making glowing slime.
We're going to do some cardboard projects. We're going to take a look at some MakeCode, all this, and more.
All this and more on 3D Hangouts.
You said it. Here we go. Intro. Excellent. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. My name is Noah Ruiz. I'm a designer here at Adafruit, and joining me every week is Mr. Pedro.
What's going on everybody? I'm Pedro Ruiz, Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we come to share 3D printing projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right. This is a show we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics, trying to make inspirational projects for educators, makers, everyone, and all of them. Thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping. This is 3D Hangouts. We do this show live every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Let's kick it off with a coupon code. So this week's coupon code is LED Throw. If anyone wants to pick up something in the Adafruit shop, they can get 10% off with this code, so check it out.
That's right, expires at 11:59 p.m. tonight and works on everything except gift certificates and subscriptions.
That's right. We also have some cool freebie deals. Check out adafruit.com/free to see all those deals. One little update, we are no longer doing the Circuit Playground Express one, so we should put like an X on that because the supplies lasted, or no, they didn't last. Something like that. But check adafruit.com/free for those deals. Yeah,
last time we said this, they actually brought it back, so make sure you check out.
That's funny.
Adafruit.com/free.
They take it and they bring it. We don't know. It's cool. So we also have same-day delivery in New York City. That's an option if you guys are in the New York City area and you need something right away. We have this as an option. I think it's UPS or DHL. One of those.
If you order before 11 a.m., you'll get it right around 5 p.m. in the afternoon.
It's 11 a.m. now.
Yep.
Uh-oh. We should do the show earlier. Nah, let's not do that. Hey, we have a CircuitPython meeting that happens every Monday. So if you are interested in the news of CircuitPython, check out our meeting. It happens on Discord. So we have a Discord link up in the top chat here, discord.gg/Adafruit. Get an invite link there and join the community. It happens 24/7. We also have some daily newsletters that go out every day. If you want some of those, go to adafruitdaily.com and check out all the little categories that we have. We have a lot of different categories, our latest one being, I believe, CircuitPython. Yeah, cool. We also have a product-focused one. It happens once a week. So if you want to know more about products and stuff, you can get this newsletter by going over to adafruit.com/newsletter. That's a simple one. Always hanging out in the chat room and the Discord chat, so check that out if you want to hang out after the show. Have any projects that you want to share, have any project help that you'd like, you can always check out the Discord server. I had a couple of people on Instagram asking some very specific CircuitPython questions, and I told them to check out Discord, and they helped them right away. We have one of the best communities, I think, for getting really quick, rapid help.
Yeah, it's because the developers that are actually working on all this are always hanging out in the chat there.
They're such lovely people.
Good place to give them bugs, suggestions, all the good stuff. I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. Thank you all for joining us every week. Shout outs to Just the Daz, Stuff with Kirby, Yarin, Bobby, and Raf's amazing channel. David Smith, Team 4, Le Petite Geek, and Louis Gentle, who is first-time watchers.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching us. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this week's project. This week, we thought we'd do some more slime stuff. This is a summertime sort of based project, and it's really for educators and folks that are kind of doing workshops and stuff for the little kids, for people that have never played with electronics. So we made it a thing to make it really easy. No soldering required here. It is all just kind of plug and play, which is really fun. So what do we got?
So I wish you showed the video first, but
yeah,
the actual build for this is making glowing LED slime with 3D printed coin cell holders. So I searched around when researching this project, and I couldn't find any LED coin cell, the 2032 coin cells holders that would completely encapsulate the LED, or I'm sorry, the coin cell, so you can add this to slime projects.
Any projects really. Yeah, so having a coin cell holder that's fully enclosed was kind of the goal for this one, because we didn't want to have slime get into the battery or you know, potentially short something out, because it is capacitive touch, as we found out last week. So you looked around Thingiverse for something like this, and it didn't seem like you could find any, so you made your own. Is that right?
Yeah, so this is the two-piece design. Fits right around the diameter of the 2032, which is pretty common for making these LED throwies. Super simple to print. There's no support material required for this, and it prints about 10 minutes. And as we said before, fits the battery very nicely. It has a nice little tight tolerance, so that when you're kneading the slime and you're like pulling it apart and playing with it, it's not going to pull apart the enclosure as well. It has a nice little tight tolerance for that.
And you won't short it out, so that's really nice.
Yeah, so it's nicely contained, super simple. You can do a lot of modifications for this, like having it stand upright, adding a little clip to it, or having a little holder so you can like add it to a hat or your glasses or something like that.
Real quick history lesson. These are LED throwies. It was kind of invented back in 2006 by a nice research team where they used tape to secure the legs of the LED to the coin cell. And you would put a magnet on it and just throw it at things that are metal, and it would stick to it, hence the name LED throwies. So this is sort of a cool take on it, using 3D printing to make this really precision fit little coin cell holder. Very cool. So let's go ahead and jump into the learning system. If you go to learn.adafruit.com, you can see our tutorial on this project and some links to other resources. So here we go. Here is our guide, and we just have a nice introduction to the project, who it's for, what you can do with it, and we talk about all the things that you'll need to kind of build your kit for your classroom or your workshop.
So this is like the continuation of last week's project with the slime. Only difference here is using the 3D printed parts for this, so excellent for workshops, classroom areas.
Very inexpensive parts. It's just LEDs in the batteries, no microcontrollers, no soldering required here, not even alligator clips. You just plug these things together. I think it's really good for first, second, maybe even third graders. If you're an educator and you're doing this, please let us know. I'd love to see kind of how this type of projects can be implemented in the curriculum. Yeah. So that's what the homepage does. Kind of talks about the project and all the parts that are listed, and maybe some add-on things like you want to have maybe some paper towels and mixing bowl and all those little things, Ziploc bags, and
anything to make the cleanup nice and easy.
Right.
So of course, in addition to just teaching kids about measuring and adding, you know, customizations to their slime and their coin cell holder, of course, this is great for prop making or for movies. If you need to make something that's glowy and gooey.
Throw something in there real quick to
definitely
make it light up.
Yeah, has a little inspiration of, like, I don't know, like Pandora or Avatar, the way they have all their glowy LED themes. So really excellent for that.
I think it's going to be a hit for Halloween, just to get a bunch of LEDs
and
things, throw them in pumpkins.
Get some fog machines on that.
All right, so let's talk about actual 3D printing of it. If you're an educator or working in a sort of a makerspace, and you don't have access to a 3D printer, you don't own a 3D printer, there are many services out there that can hook you up, like 3D Hubs, MakeXYZ, or even Shapeways. So check them out if you want to get some stuff printed. Maybe even your library has one, so check those places out. We did have a question like, what's a good 3D printer to start with? There are so many out there, and there are so many really great reviews and YouTube channels that you can check out for that sort of stuff. We have a few 3D printers in the shop, so you can check those out as well. We have them linked in the tutorials as well. So as far as the parts go, it's kind of fun because this is symmetrical design, so you really have one STL that you duplicate and then you print it. Right? Doesn't need any support materials, fairly small, doesn't use up a lot of material, and there's really no waste here when you're printing it. So you pull it right off the bed and you're good to go. There are some little things that you can do if things aren't fitting precisely. You can try using some of our settings. We really recommend using Cura Slicer. It is a free piece of software, and it supports a lot of the open source 3D printers that we are fans of. So you can check out our settings here. Notably, the line width is what you want to have set to what, 0.35?
0.35, 0.34
so
should be.
Nice, tight fit.
If it turns out that, because we did notice that there are differences between the 2030 brand thicknesses, if it is a little bit looser or more tighter, you do want to adjust the line width for that. Or you could, if you go to the overhead, just insert it with the fillet on the opposite side of the coin cell. So you can see there is a little fillet in there to compensate for the fillet that is on the coin cell, but if it's too loose, you just flip it over and it should fit in there nice and tight like that. That should hold it for all of the slime kneading, or just in general, if you just want to be able to actually throw it around, not have it fall apart. It's a nice way to do that, and it holds on pretty well without being too difficult to remove.
Yeah, I think there's if you have some students that are a little bit older maybe, and they're willing to do some CAD stuff, I think this is a good opportunity. Yeah, my mic is done.
No, you're good. Yeah, it did. It did.
Yeah, it is. Thanks, Thomas, for the heads up on the mic. Let's go ahead and take a quick break to see if I can fix this. Or if Pedro can fix it. I'm not sure. Maybe it's this right here. Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks again for the mic thing. We just kind of had to twist. You know those analog connections. You always got to twist them a little bit to make sure they're fully working. All right, cool. So thanks for that. Yeah. All right, so let's... I can see the mic level. It's looking much better than it was before, so I think we're good, Pedro. I think one of the cool things that you can do with this type of project is have your students redesign this, make their own coin cell holder, and maybe add some functionality to it. Maybe you can make it a different shape so that it stands upright.
That's actually one of the designs that inspired me to actually make it this way, because it had a little stand on the bottom of it.
That's right. Another thing you can do is design a clip into the piece so you can clip it onto a shirt, onto paper, or something like that, something flat like that.
Yeah, we have several clip designs that we've made over the years. You can find all of those on our GitHub repository of all of the Adafruit parts, if you want to check that out.
Yep. Yeah, so there's a lot of different ideas. Maybe you can add little symbols, like a plus sign, to show which side is positive and negative. That'd be cool. Print them in different colors, obviously, but sort of designing their own for their specific application or whatever problem they're trying to solve is really, I think, the goal here. And this is just a good sort of starting point to at least get the measurements, because this is, of course, sketch-driven using Fusion 360, which is a free piece of download. And, of course, you can modify our existing files. It's pretty much parametric when you look at it. So we have a link down here for the Fusion 360 design file and all of our parts that are on GitHub, including circuit playgrounds, screens, buttons, LEDs, that sort of stuff.
And a nice question, since we're still on 3D printing part, Fabio is asking in the chat room if we have slicer profiles for download. You can check those out on our GitHub.
Yep,
at github.com/adafruit/printer-profiles. It'll be a nice long list of all of the printers that we've ever had in stock on the Adafruit shop. Check that out. We have one there for the Ultimaker, which we used. And we have those split up into the different versions as well. Ultimaker 2, Ultimaker 3. And you can get different dual extrusion versions of that, as well as all of the other ones that we've used in past projects.
Cool, I'll go ahead and paste it in the... Oh, you already did.
Yep. So check that out. And you can also search the main directory for the GitHub/Adafruit for our fritzing files, as well as a lot of the code for upcoming projects if you want to take a sneak peek at some of the things that everybody's working on behind the scenes.
That's right. So just looking at this model preview, oh, why it's running a little slow, so I'll have to get out of there. But yeah, it is a free download. Go to the top right and you can download it in any STL format, step file, SAT, Inventor, OBJ, even SketchUp. So.
Or you can just open it up and adjust the sketch profile to modify the radius. So if you're using a smaller coin cell or a bigger one, or different thickness, you can adjust that as well. Just update the radius for that, and all of the Wall thicknesses should all update with that, as well as the mounting holes for the LED legs. All those are pretty universal, so that should update or stay constant as well. So you'll have all the nice tolerances that we found that work.
Yep, so again, all those links are in the guide and in the description of this video, so you can check those out. We've also published them on some of the share sites like Thingiverse, Pinshape, and Imagine. All right, so that's pretty much it for that one. Let's go ahead and jump into the assembly. How do you make this sort of stuff? It's never been easier with Elmer's glue and their magical liquid.
Yeah, we had a whole guide about this last week. Super easy. It's just a 2-part mix. The magic liquid is really the magical ingredient for this one, since it makes cleanup a lot more easier. You don't have to have baking soda in the contact solution. It's just one bottle of that.
But do your research. Maybe there's a little bit of a money saving if you buy in bulk. We were walking by Walmart the other day and we saw these giant tubs of slime that's really just the glue for the slime. And it's like, okay, you can just buy big jugs of them. I think it was like $5 or something for them.
Yeah, of course, this is a lot more better for teaching about measuring, getting all the ratios of the 2 different liquids perfect, and then adding like whatever glitter if you want to do that, or the I forget what the names are of those, like the bedazzled stuff to make it like crunchy and like shiny and all that.
Yeah, let's take a look at some footage that we did while we were mixing some of this stuff.
So recommend getting the translucent stuff here, so you can add dyes to make your own colors, mix those up.
This is smart.
Some color theory for that.
You want to use a stick because you don't want you don't want to mix pigments with your fingers. You can get
even though it's
stains.
just food coloring, you will get stains.
Yeah, so use a little stick, a stirring stick, to get it in the solution is a good idea.
Of course, you can add your bedazzlement or your glitter onto that, or you can get these already pre-glittered. So the mixture is already in there to make cleanup a lot less messy.
This stuff is messy, and if you look at the surface we're working, we actually have a parchment paper. It's like a baking sheet that's not supposed to be sticky. So if it does stick to your work surface, you can put this baking sheet on top of it so it doesn't get all stained or something. Or we use what do we use in here? Not glass, but
it's just acrylic,
acrylic sheet. Yeah.
Getting this like little backdrop back there.
So mixing different colors is kind of a fun way to kind of get into color theory. If you use primary colors, then you can get some really nice colors like this purple that we made using red, white, and blue. It's a little bit of a July 4th theme, actually, and it ended up looking like a Thanos slime. And then you throw in some LEDs and you get some infinity stones in there. So what happens when Thanos sneezes and boogers come out of Thanos' nose? You get infinity slime. So that was our thinking. Anyway, it was a lot of fun making this stuff and just kind of mixing it together. The 5-year-old really, really likes this stuff. He's always asking for it. He always wants to play with it. So yeah, it was really fun.
All right, moving on to the actual assembly of the LED coin cell. Super easy. If you jump in over to the assembly page for that, take a look at how
we're done with it. We already.
Oh, you already covered it?
Where have we been in there?
Oh,
what else am I?
The only tip is
okay,
the thickness of the coin cell enclosure. It is going to allow the positive side of the LED to poke through. So you definitely want to cut that out or modify the design if you want to make it a little bit thicker so it stays inside the case.
Sure.
Otherwise, you are going to need a flush cutter to remove that because it can poke you if you are kneading the slime around like that.
Okay.
That's the only warning
I'll give
out for that. And it's super easy to mix that into your slime. You just stretch it out, lay it all over, and then it should evenly mix. It'll give you a nice little slime glow on that.
Yeah, play with different colors and whatnot.
Yeah, super easy project.
Oh, right. Let's say you have some older students and you're trying to teach them how electronics actually work. Well, we have a really good guide for you guys. It's this one over here. We have a guide from Tyler Cooper. It's called All About LEDs, and this talks all about LEDs. It talks about Ohm's Law, get your Ohm's Law on, learn about resistors, learn about the cathode and the anode, and you can hopefully use all this stuff to kind of test against it, you know what I mean? Like maybe make some tests and stuff.
Which we actually do have. If you scroll down to the bottom, there are
there are some sort of little tests here that you can kind of sample and let your kids see. Yeah, so just talking about kind of different resistor values, and then even down to programming with Arduino.
And of course,
which LED is the brightest, and what is the resistor?
It's a nice little assortment of questions there
Yeah,
for it
very
tests.
cool.
And we also have, for the even younger students, we have a nice video and guide to go along with that. L is
for LED. This is a great one as well. So this is sort of the transcript version of it, which is really nice for accessibility, of course. So all this is broken out. You can reuse any of these graphics, learn about gallium, aluminum gallium to make blue and green LEDs. So there you go. We have a lot of different resources and links to them in the learning guides. So
one thing I did forget, the way that you actually need to modify the LED legs for this, you want to make sure there is a slight bend right in the middle just so it makes really good contact with the coin cell sides on that. So that's the only thing you are going to have to modify. Otherwise, the can flicker, which could be a cool effect if you want to make it look like the slime is alive. We also have the fast and the slow color changing RGB LEDs that you can use on this, which will make it a little bit more cooler for making it look like the slime is alive. So just a quick tip on bending your legs to make sure that they make contact.
Cool, right on.
And I think that's it for this project. Super easy to do. Summer project for the kids, students. Let me check it out.
Yeah.
Get all the files.
Cool. Can I talk real quick about sort of designing some of these things?
Oh, yeah.
So real quick, we'll take a look at a free piece of software from Autodesk for designing these type of things. It's called Tinkercad. If you guys are new, if you guys haven't heard of Tinkercad, it is a really great piece of web browser-based software. And what you can do is you can play around with the different components that they now have. So if we go down here, normally it's set to basic shapes, but if you click on this little sidebar menu, there's a lot of different assemblies and components for circuits. So that's really cool. So check out the assemblies. You can see we have this nice coin cell holder like we have. This is actually a one-piece design, and it actually has the positive symbol on it. And you can reuse this in design. So it's really cool that Tinkercad has this built in. They also have a little sidebar here that says show build instructions. So you click on this, you can see sort of the steps to put this together. And they got little GIFs here on the sidebar to show you how it works. You just kind of plug it in with the, make sure that the positive leg is facing the positive symbol. So they kind of break this down into a written little format, which I really like that it's integrated into the CAD software itself. That's really cool. So check that out. If you are new to Tinkercad, this is a great little resource for teaching people about CAD. Yeah, very fun. You can exit the lesson here, I guess. So yeah, this is really nice to see Tinkercad integrating electronics. And of course, they also have electronic simulator as well. So you can check that out as well, but we're going to skip that one for now.
And of course, they have Lego mode as well, so you can turn any of the 3D objects that are modeled in here into bricks. Lego bricks.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, I was waiting for this one. And then you can kind of step through the layers or break it apart a little bit differently. I don't know, it's kind of neat. I have yet to fully play with it, but you can kind of see the layers about it. It'd be cool if you can export like a build list and get all the actual...
You need to partner with Lego so they can do the, what is it, the Lego design software that lets you visualize mock-ups.
Yeah, so it's pretty neat. I don't know, I like seeing improvements here. And it's, of course, a free piece of software. Sign up is easy, and yeah, Tinkercad's rocking out. Good stuff. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into what are we prototyping. We're going to talk about some Nintendo Labo buttons that you may have seen a couple weeks ago.
So way back in April, I believe, I showed a prototype of the Labo. Oh, turn the autofocus on. Yeah, so we were super impressed with the Nintendo Labo kit that came out. And one of the things that really caught my eye was the mechanical button that they had in one of their little builds. Super cool. I added some wires and some copper tape to make it conductive as an input for a CPX. It's like a playground. And then Noah designed a nice little box for that. So we have finally put this together. Nice, easy, removable, cuttable box that can house the battery, electronics all on the inside while having this cool cardboard mechanical button on there. Super awesome. So we'll take a look at that, I believe, not next week, but the week after.
Yeah.
So a simplified design so I don't have to have the wires running through the inside of the button. We're using copper tape as all the traces. And of course, MakeCode to the rescue again and being able to have a nice little prototype out of this. Nice and fast. We're using alligator clips for all the connections, so everything is modular. You can edit this, make it your own in terms of customizing it. Another really good, simple project that is really accessible because you don't need a printer, you don't even need the cutter. You can just use hobby knife to cut out all of these. And a huge shout out to Nintendo who actually released the templates for the mechanical button design of this. So super cool.
Did you modify that, those paths at all?
I did some modifications because
it wasn't really ready for
it wasn't like the
say.
SVGs for this were like all chopped up, so there did involve some work in redrawing all
So we'll
of these.
release an SVG sort of as a paper template you can print on a 2D printer or cut it with a laser cutter or a vinyl cutter like the Cricut or the Silhouette Cameo machines. So
very
very
good.
cool.
Super cool. We'll take a look
at
at the way that everything's all assembled in 2 weeks. Super cool.
Yeah, very neat. All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and change this text here to make, is it this one? Yeah. So let's see. I'll have to figure out a better method of doing this, but it's going to be called touch tone CPX. That's what we're going to do next here. I kind of typed that live. Isn't that cool? What happened?
Good.
Did you disconnect it? Can I talk about it?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So this is a little custom PCB that we made for the Circuit Playground Express. It kind of breaks out a couple of the pads so that you can touch them a little bit better. And it kind of makes this little instrument. I made this little 3D printed case, added some googly eyes to it, but the googly eyes actually, it came out of his eye socket. Need to tighten up that tolerance. The eyes actually act as little bumpers. So I put these little tacks so that the thing doesn't slide all over the place. His eye keeps coming out. I need to like tighten up that tolerance. Anyway, what we did was we were playing around with MakeCode and using different things. Liz, she really likes the case. So does the
I call it Son of Zoidberg.
Son of Zoidberg. So obviously we got some really cool touchtone basic notes. So as you hold the button down, it stays playing, and then when you lift off your finger, it turns off. Turns on the LEDs as well. But since we're using MakeCode, you can actually do a lot of different things. You can kind of combine a bunch of different notes together to make really fun like sound effects. So instead of just playing one note, you can kind of build a whole bunch of different notes to build these little arpeggios. Even that one's really cool. And of course, this is done with MakeCode, so it's really easy to come in there and kind of prototype your sounds or really how you want to trigger them. So if you wanted to shake the thing and do a different sound, you can do that really easy. So let's go ahead and jump into MakeCode and take a look at how you can put together something like this. So let me show you guys our updated MakeCode. So here's MakeCode. This is the beta version, I believe. So check out the link in the description so that you can access the beta. It's free. And you can upload to the Circuit Playground directly from the browser without having to drag and drop the UF2 file, which is really cool. So I'm hoping that MakeCode team gets this out of beta soon, because I really like to see folks in classroom settings being able to quickly upload without having to drag that file over. But if you don't have the Circuit Playground on hand, we do have a really cool interactive simulator. This guy over here on the side is a fully simulated Circuit Playground, so you can press buttons and touch on these pads and stuff. So let's go ahead and get started with our little thing here. So I'm going to go in the input, and under the input, this is how you can kind of trigger on commands. So do you want a button press, or do you want something to be touched? This is the first one you kind of want to work with, right? So on button A, you can click on that and then get a pull-down menu of all the different pins that you can access. So I'm going to go with button B. And then you can tell whether you want it to be click, a long click, the up state, or the down state. So I'm going to just leave it on click. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the music kind of panel and then pick out some of these sounds. So the one I like playing with is the play tone at middle C for half a beat. And what this one does is it lets you play a note, and I'm going to just drop it into the onto the on block. And then what you can do is when you click on middle C, you get this really nice user interface. It looks like a piano. And you can just interactively click on it and get the sound without having to kind of look at a lookup table and figure out which value is which note. So this is really nice from a UI standpoint. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick middle C, and then for half a beat, it's gonna play that half a beat. So right away, as I drop this in here, the simulator updated. So if I click on the B button, you get an idea of what a half a beat is. That's the duration of the note that's being held down. And it only happens when I click out of it. So if I click and press and then let go, then it plays it. So that's good to know. So now what I can do is I can start right-click, duplicate, and then just kind of start throwing a bunch of notes together. So maybe I'll do that. I'll duplicate it again. So I'll do middle C, middle E, middle G, and why not let's duplicate it and then do a high C note like that. And then when you notice the Circuit Playground kind of changes colors, and that's because it's kind of refreshing and recompiling itself. So now that it's done, I can click on the button to see what it sounds like. And it's really cool to kind of do that really quick. So one thing I want to do is I want to make this a little bit faster. So what I'm going to change all the beats to a quarter note by doing this right here, just clicking on the drop down and change them all to a quarter note. So now let the Circuit Playground refresh and click the button. What if you guys can hear that loud enough? Nice, you can hear that now. So now what you can do is you can play around with different loops. So let's say I actually want to repeat, I want to have this happen 4 times. So if you go to the loops, there is a repeat 4 times. So I can drag this out, and then if you position it right on top of the first note, it'll actually wrap all of those things in one, making this a really nice kind of interactive interface here. So now when I click on the button, it'll play it 4 times. Sweet, right?
That sounds like one of the Adafruit songs.
Yeah, it does. So really quick and easy way to kind of build a whole bunch of notes together and make this really fun thing. I also added some functionality like making it loud. So if you hit the switch, it now plays it louder. That's probably my favorite one there.
Super cool.
Yeah, so again, just really fun and easy way to do it. And of course, if you don't have Circuit Playground, you can still simulate it right here on the sidebar, which is really cool. Let's say I want to change this from button A to pin A, and maybe I want to do it on the down state. So when I touch down on it, it'll instantly play it. So over here on A1, it just does it like that. Very cool. And you can obviously change the note, make it even go faster, maybe do an 8th note, and this will kind of create like this sort of sound effect that you might hear. Maybe Mario running, he kind of sounds like that, right? Uh-oh. Oops, wrong key. It's actually A1. Right? Pretty cool. And then other things you can do is you can rest as well. So let's say you want to rest for a half a beat, and this kind of makes it sound chopped up, which is kind of neat. That's actually how I made the sound on that I played a little bit ago. So let's hear what this sounds like. Again, the wrong note. So he kind of chops it up because it has that pause in between. I don't know. It's really fun. I like music and stuff, so I thought this was kind of a fun way to make this. And of course, you can expand on this, maybe make this into a Simon Says game so that different patterns play and you have to kind of follow the patterns or something. I don't know, it'd be kind of fun, but hey, very cool. So MakeCode, again, it's free. Beta link is in the description if you want to start playing with the beta. Although you don't need it, it's definitely nice to be able to upload through USB stuff. Let's switch back over to our overhead so you can see our faces. So check that out. There's a lot of fun. There's our MakeCode session.
Yay.
Yeah, this is next week's project, by the way.
Yep, so we'll talk about the design of this, how to CNC this, of course, give away the actual files if you want to get this made at like Osh Park or some other PCB fab. Super cool. A really cool project.
Yeah, we'll do some more kind of things around it. Maybe a layer by layer on how to take custom shapes from Fusion 360 and get them into EagleCAD, for example. Kind of fun.
You got your challenge request there from Kirby. He's saying that we need to have the Close Encounters tone on there.
Ooh, yes. Yes, that's a good point. All right,
cool. So we'll take a look at this next week.
Yeah, very fun. And if you want to pick up Circuit Playground Express, it is in stock right now. You can get 10% off. LED Throw is the coupon code.
Expires at 11:59 p.m. tonight. Works on everything except
Gift certificates and infinity slime. It doesn't work on that.
Or subscriptions.
Okay, cool. Well, I think we're going to jump into
this week's Community Make.
No, Shop Talk.
Shop Talk.
And let's do some Shop Talk. We got some stuff in the shop, and we'd like to talk about it. What do we start with? Shirts?
We do not have that in the shop. That's not something we're going to sell.
Oh, I thought Shop Talk was like, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because I said one thing and then I did the other.
Let's go ahead and take a look at this week's Community Make, starting off with this week's Timelapse Tuesday.
What about the shirts? Did we do that later?
That's the last thing, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, what do we got for Timelapse Tuesday?
This week's Timelapse Tuesday is another real cool boat design by Dragon DE_DE. Really cool designer who makes a ton of really cool boat type designs.
You see, as I'm trying to type it, like, oh yeah.
You're gonna have to have this pre-made.
I know, but it's just a lot of layers to kind of shift through, so I'd rather just type it live.
Yeah, so we featured some of his boat designs before. This one's a really cool one that is specially made for Marvin and friends. This is the Marvin Yacht. And oh crap, I still got like beach sand on there. We did, of course, go ahead and test out if this actually floated or not.
We went to the beach.
Went to the beach to test this out, and all of his little friends were able to fit on there, and nice tight tolerances on the leg little inserts there where they pop into. And of course, since we have infinity slime, we have to have an infinity or a Thanos-themed Marvin. Really cool design, prints in, I forgot what it was, like 8 hours or something like that.
8 hours?
Yeah, or 5 hours? I forget.
For that little Thanos?
For this little, no, for the boat.
Well,
Thanos,
really
I think,
nice
prints in like an hour and a half, just because it's still extruded at 100 microns. So a nice little dual extrusion print there to test the calibrating heads on that. I use the Ultimaker 3 for that. And the feet just press fit right in there. And they did an excellent job of staying on there. If you play the video, you can see.
Let's play the video.
You guys are probably familiar with kids being not too gentle when playing with toys, and
especially in the water.
None of these fell off, so the tolerance on there are very good.
Looks like this took 5 hours.
5 hours, yeah.
0.2 layer height, printed on our Ultimaker 3. Single extrusion. You could do one of the things where you change out the filament mid-print to get a different color.
Which is actually what he did.
Yeah.
I just didn't have time to do that.
Look at this beautiful shot.
It does a very nice job of floating. The only criticism I'll have about this is the top portion where the Marvin's supposed to go onto, the little top balcony there. Every time I tried putting a Marvin on there, it would flip the boat.
Floats. Look how great it floats. So this is actually Bahia Honda Beach, which is out here in the Florida Keys. A couple hours away, but we checked it out. We were visiting, and it was a lot of fun.
But so, definitely a good little print for having your tub, or like we've shown there at the beach. All these little Marvins did an excellent job of staying on there. I was for sure they were going to come back with a bunch of missing pieces, but it all survived. It was just PLA, and it survived in that scorching hot sun.
It was pretty hot out there, I gotta say.
Nothing melted. We left it in the car, and nothing got deformed.
Yeah,
so.
just not in direct sunlight, right? But it was in the direct sunlight?
Yeah, this was in direct. It was in a bag. You know, on the side of a bag, like where you put your drinks, and it did not melt.
PLA? Yeah, it's PLA.
This is PLA.
Melt tank PLA.
My phone overheated. My glasses overheated. The PLA did not overheat.
Right. So there you go.
So definitely check out. We're using the Melt Ink PLA. We have that in the shop if you want to check it out.
So shout out to Ben Dragon, designer of said boat, and he's got a lot of great photos of it as well here. We took it in the water, and it actually floats. So check it out. Oh, he has a video in too. Sweet. Yeah, we've actually printed quite a few of his boats, like these right here, his bathtub collection. Yeah, so we're going to print some more stuff, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. So check out VD Print. Van Dragon is the handle. And he's got a bunch of boats.
He's got a ton of really cool boats.
A lot of boats.
Definitely a nice one to get some design inspiration or modify.
This boat has like little ships in it. What is this one?
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to do gorgeous. That one too. Look at those little tiny little. I think you printed that.
Yeah, I printed that little tiny.
That's funny. Very cool.
It like goes in an egg.
That's super cool. All right, well,
huge shout outs for this really cool print.
Yeah, we got the link, of course, in the description. And, of course, if you haven't looked at the time-lapse video, check that out. It's a fun one.
So it's a nice little addition. If you have a couple of Marvins hanging around, All of them have a party on the boat.
Oh, that's a great idea. We should do a Lego boat with motor using Cricut.
That is on the list.
That's on the list? Okay, cool. All right, well, let's take a look at some other fun makes from the community. Over here. We'll do the web thing. All right, cool. So we got some sweet little makes. So this is our webcam our webcam cover Lego brick with Adabot minifig hashtag. So Amy Double Z printed it out on her Formlabs 2 printer out of resin using a 0.1 millimeter resolution. So it's really nice quality. And the tolerances worked really well. That's great to know.
She mixed her own colors as well using their mixing kit. Super
Very cool.
Oh, look, there's Adabot. How did that look?
This is Liz.
Oh.
Yeah, this is Liz's Adabot, yeah. I think we shared it a couple, if not a month ago, whenever we released it. She was like one of the first to make it.
Looks so good.
Yep, April 4th. Awesome. And one of our fan favorites, a Halo energy sword with NeoPixel LEDs, designed by Pedro, and Razik posted his make of it.
It's really good.
Looking really cool on the countertop here. Super bright. I think it's mad bright. You can see it's charging.
Excellent job. Yeah. Really cool.
Very cool. And we have another one. This is the Pocket Pie Girl, one of our popular builds. So Cristivo on Thingiverse posted his make. Looks like he's still building the rest of it, but this looks really good. I like the color scheme.
Yeah,
Printed on Ultimaker 2.
Very cool.
One of the last things we have is another Pie Girl, but this is Pie Girl 2, and it's a remix. Monofuel on Thingiverse posted this as a remix, and his edition adds the HDMI connector to the bottom, so you can plug this in. A lot of people actually asked about this. I'm glad somebody made it. I think he links to, the HDMI port saver female adapter from Monoprice. It's probably well priced. It's on Amazon, so you can get that. You see the little port right there?
Nice.
So many people wanted that too, because they want to be able to connect it to a TV, a bigger monitor to kind of play. So you can kind of Nintendo Switch style disconnect it and play it on the go. So it's really cool. It's a good idea. Yeah. I'll probably implement this.
Really cool.
Yeah, so get the file there. Sweet. So those are all the community makes we have this week. If you guys have any projects you'd like to share with us, you can hit us up on the emails, the Twitters, or the Instagrams. We have our @ names are up there on the purple over there. At Ekin and Pedro's at VideoPixel.
You can also email support@adafruit.com, and the support team will get those over to us or schedule it for blog posting. Always happy to see your really awesome makes.
That's right. All right, so let's see if there's anything. Oh yeah, so T-shirts. Can we do the T-shirts at the end?
Yes, time for T-shirts. Some other things. I've been prototyping in the background for the CircuitPython team. Going to a couple of really successful conferences. Everybody's having fun. Doing some nice workshop learning on CircuitPython. So we thought we'd hook them up with some really cool gear. Check out the Instagrams. You can see some of the builds that Noah's been making. Really cool. Blinka.
All right, so Blinka is...
So you've been testing out doing multi-color layered vinyl for these.
There we go. Hey, look at that. So yeah, so this is iron-on vinyl. It's from the Sisser brand, and it's called Stretch. So it actually stretches with the material, so you won't get sort of those vinyl cracking. But one of the things that I found out is that when I first started playing around with iron-on vinyl for T-shirts and apparel, I was using the graphics, the vector graphics that we optimize for our papercraft projects. So if you guys remember from 2 weeks ago, it would be basically layers that are solid and that get layered on top of each other, kind of making this sort of thick backing, right? The problem is, though, you really don't want to do that with iron-on vinyl because it tends to get really thick. And when it gets really thick, as the material stretches and flexes, the edges start to kind of peel off. So what I had to do was basically fix or re-optimize the vector graphics so it's more cut away from each other. It's just making one layer as opposed to stacking the layers. So for example, the black outer stroke here isn't a full solid, it's just the stroke, just like it is in the just the way it appears. So that's sort of the tips that I realized. A couple things is you want to be aware of when you're applying the vinyl. You want to do it on the shirt before it gets washed, or at least in my experience. So if you use something like fabric softener on your new shirt, the glue won't adhere that well. Also, I recommend using something like an easy press, which is basically a square-shaped iron that distributes the heat evenly, because a regular iron just doesn't do that, and it's got this weird shape. So the easy press is something that's from the Cricut, the Cricut team that make the Cricut machine, or the Cry Cut, whatever you want to call it. So this is a really cool graphic for your t-shirt. We also experimented with other characters like Minerva. So with Minerva, I was able to play around with a little bit extra details. Come on, focus. Notably, her pink eyebrows over here. So this is a separate layer that just gets pasted on top because the alignment kind of gets a little bit difficult. Here's a good example of what the alignment looks like when it's not perfectly on. And it gets a little bit difficult because when you're pressing it, the vinyl can tend to stretch. So right there, you see a little bit of misalignment, but over here, it's nice and aligned. Same thing with her eyes here. You can see that the little alignment details aren't perfect, but hey, I'm trying here. However, this one came out really well, the bottom here. So again, these are cutouts, layers that they're not really layered on top. They're not stacked on top of each other. It's just one kind of layer of vinyl, so it's really flexible. And again, this is that stretch stuff, so it'll stretch with it. But really nice and vivid colors as well. So I'll be uploading these to the GitHub repo where I have the paper crafts and probably name them like apparel or t-shirt or something.
Or a new directory for shirts, yeah.
So yeah, she looks really nice. On the teal fabric, yeah, I know, it's really nice, right? These are just kind of shirts that we got at Walmart. They're like a couple bucks. So really nice. Also, we have, of course, the CircuitPython logo. One of the things I noticed is that as you're making your vinyl, you want to kind of scale it proportionately. So I kind of had the CircuitPython logo a little bit smaller for the small shirts, and then for the medium, I had to make it a little bit bigger. And again, this is a stretchy sort of material that kind of feels like what is it?
Corrugated cardboard?
Sort of, because it has a sort of texture where, you know, it really stretches a lot. So hopefully this will last up pretty well. And the last one I want to share is that there's all sorts of different types of iron-on vinyl. This one is a reflective silver color that has this really nice sheen to it. Come on, focus.
It's been slow to focus.
What is up with the focus? There we go. Let's just manually focus it. So this is really nice.
I love that shine.
I love this shine here. This is on like on a dark heather gray shirt.
We should have. We need to make one where it's using the holographic stuff to keep in tone with all of the all the holographic rainbow stuff.
Yeah, I also have a glitter one, but I think it's upstairs. Using glitter iron-on, which is really fun as well. So
I'll probably do a tutorial or something like that.
Yeah, I think we'll do a tutorial
you need to figure out in terms
of
the layering.
And I have a lot of shirts that did not work. Even after watching all the videos. So that's what we're working on, just kind of just to get our team...
internal marketing materials.
Internal marketing materials? Yeah, why not? Super cool. So if you guys want to make your own t-shirts, let me know if you want the files. I'll get them to you.
Of course, I'm wearing the Blinka one.
Yeah, that one came out pretty good, right? Is it? Yeah, that's the good one. Yep. All right, cool. So that's what we're working on. Isn't autofocus wonderful? It sure is when it works.
I think that's going to do it for this week.
That is going to do it for us for this week.
But don't forget, later on today, we're going to have a whole list of shows coming up.
Yep. Later tonight, we have Show and Tell. So if you want to share your project with the world or let us know what you want to work on, you can check out the Show and Tell show. It happens every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m.
Right after that, have Ask an Engineer, full hour of Lamar and Phil talking about all of the ins and outs of the maker community, maker business, all the cool products that are coming up.
That's right. And some breaking news and stuff like that is happening down as well. There's one thing I wanted to say about Ask Engineer. What was it? Oh yeah, you get a chance to win something. Stay tuned till the very end. We do giveaways at the end of the show, so you can win some very cool stuff. You call in on the payphone and they answer it live, and they're like, "Hey, what's up?" Very cool. Also tomorrow, we're not done with this week yet. Tomorrow is John Park's workshop at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. There's a blog post about it, so you can make sure that you plan accordingly. Very fun stuff from John Park.
Check it out. He's working on a animatronic of Minerva, so check that out.
And yesterday he published on the learning system. You can check it out right now.
Eyeball. Yeah.
You can check out this cool eyeball, which we'll take a quick look at right now.
Nice little servo setup for that.
Yep. Right here, very creepy. So it's a Cricut controlled animatronic eye. He showed you how to build it on last week's show. If you missed it, be sure to check it out. It's a nice build. Super cool. All right, well, that's all the time we got. Don't forget, all your orders support the awesome folks that work at Adafruit.
There is a ton of cogs to get this operation going, so definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Use coupon code.
Buy a kit every now and then. There you go. Yay. With LED throw, you get 10% off. Yay. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll be here next week. And if anybody is enjoying themselves, enjoy the rest of your summer. And don't forget to
make a great day.
A great day.
See you guys. Thanks for watching.
Adios.